going on, everyone? It is another week of Thunder basketball. The OKC Thunder are now 24-1, tied for the best start to an NBA season through 25 games in NBA history. We'll talk about that and a lot more, including the NBA Cup. But along with Anthony Morrow, I am Colby Daniels. Hope everybody has had a great week. Ant, my man, what is happening?
I can't call it, man. Still enjoying the holidays, gearing up for Christmas, watching a lot of football, man. Enjoying my seventh grade son, Caden. This is really intense middle school basketball going on right now. So I'm enjoying that.
Is he super
So they're like
competitive with
six
it,
and
or,
one, man.
or
They
does he
win.
have fun?
Yeah, yes. He's in the seventh grade. Coach plays a lot of the eighth graders, so the seventh graders don't get that much tick right now. But when he got that last game, when he gets in, man, it's like I'm glad he takes defense so seriously. He's way better defender than I was. Uh, but he's really trying to get in his groove. He's not scared to shoot though. He got that honest,
He's got
so
that green light all the time,
I'm
right?
loving it right now. Oh yeah, he always take you open. He always takes you open.
I love it. I love it. From a competitive standpoint, do you think he's more or less competitive than you were at that same age?
It's close. It's close. I was like an undisciplined competitor. Like he's controlled.
Okay.
But it's the same though.
Okay.
He gets out, he plays hard. He don't really, you ask him about the game, whether he plays or he doesn't play, he's gonna tell you about the game. He's not really worried about playing time or nothing like that. Not right now. But
Very nice.
I, I like the fact that he's ready all the time. He's ready all the time.
There you
When he
go.
get out there, he had a move where he crossed the guy over. He had an and one three, and that was a glorifying moment for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Very nice.
But
Very
yeah.
nice. I love it. I love it. All right, well let's jump into it. Last night the Thunder 138-89 NBA Cup quarterfinal win over the Phoenix Suns. Just dominant in every facet of the game. They're now 24-1, tied with the Golden State Warriors for the best start in NBA history through 25 games. They advanced to the NBA Cup semifinals, which will be in Las Vegas this Saturday against the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, it's still another stretch where you don't have your full arsenal of players, and no matter who's in the lineup, they just keep trucking along and just absolutely mowing down everybody in their path.
At this point, I think the show is the reason why they're playing so well. I'm just gonna put it out there, bro. I think it's us. Seriously. But
We've set a high bar
no,
that
man.
yeah.
Set a high bar, man, for real. It started with us, man. For real. They just kept trucking along. So I think honestly though, man, you see Shea once again. It's like they have this algorithm they've created that I don't know if any team can stop it and no other team can duplicate it. Where your best player and the MVP of the league is not playing in 4 quarter games and dominating the game through 3 quarters. But if you look at like the game, I believe I forgot who they played, but they had like 7 guys in double figures. Six,
Yeah.
7 guys in double figures, and it's just the way they play. If you watch them in person, I had to watch it in person when I went to the game when they came here to play the Hornets, and it's just concepts, and they play off of each other. They read each other so well, and everybody's in tune with everybody else's game. And that's something that's hard to guard. And a lot of teams can't really duplicate that. It's just based off the way they play now. It's pass, 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 pick and roll. But OKC, it looks different. And then you got the MVP at the end of the shot clock to get a ball to, and you put him in the pick and roll with Chet. It's hard. It's tough to deal with, man. So I'm still interested to see what they look like with the full team on deck. But they're handling any type of adversity. You see guys lose their best player, they might go on a 6 game losing streak, you know. But that's not the case here. So I mean, I'm just enjoying it. It's great, great basketball.
I've told many people enjoy what you're watching because I don't want anybody to take this for granted where you're just seeing this level of basketball and just like thinking like it's
Mhm.
always going to be this way. And look, there's a very good chance that this group stays together for a long, long time and they stay healthy and they play at a high level for a long, long time. But this is so unique to play this well and to have this many quality players and to have a group that gets along so well. And, you know, they're all young enough to not be jaded by maybe the business aspect of the NBA yet, where, you know, it's all about the organization and each other. Enjoy it because, again, the majority of teams in the NBA have never experienced even one run like this. And again, no team other than the Golden State Warriors have ever gone 24-1 through the first 25 games of a season.
Yeah, man. You saw how that season ended for Golden State. So, I want, hopefully, well, I think with the brand of basketball they're playing, they won't burn out. I felt like Golden State was burnt out by the time they got to that finals because we took them 6 games. We took them 7 games. We took a lot out of them, which probably would have changed the series if they'd have got rid of us in 4 or 5 games, which we knew that wasn't going to happen. But, they just have this style of play where they can rest guys. They don't bring guys back early, off of injuries. Donnie Strack over there and all those guys do a great job. So I think that they're playing a way that they can be conservative in how they move in terms of playing time, in terms of rotations. And I think that'll carry them through. And they understand what they're looking at. And then you gotta understand Sam has seen this, we've seen team, we went up against a 73-9 Warriors team. So I know that has been in the back of his head with just winning the war of attrition until you get to the finals.
So they are on a 16-game win streak. I mentioned earlier they're headed to the NBA Cup in Las Vegas, where the semifinals will be the San Antonio Spurs on Saturday. If they beat the Spurs, they will play in the NBA Cup championship next Tuesday versus either the Knicks or the Magic. I'm sure we'll talk all about that next week. But I've got a stat for you. This blew my mind last night after the game, seeing this stat. So through 25 games this season, the Thunder have led by 20 or more points for a total of 264 minutes and 17 seconds, right? That's how much time, game time, they've led by 20 or more points. 264 minutes. The Thunder have trailed for a total in this season of 249 minutes and 53 seconds. So the Thunder have led by 20 or more points for 15 more minutes than they've trailed the entire season.
That's what I'm saying, man. And you got to think your best player is not playing in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And J-Dub is not even fully 100%, so I mean it just goes to show you, like I said, so what kind of algorithm they created, man, with just in terms of team chemistry, rotations, and using the play. That's one thing about the guys over there. Mark's doing a great job, coach of the year, in my opinion. Again, obviously, to me. Just being able to squeeze every ounce of talent out of every single body on the team. All 15 guys. They get the best out of everyone. So that's a crazy stat right there, though. Ain't gonna lie. Man, you really dove deep into the analytics right there. I like that, Cole. I like that.
Listen, I would love to take credit for that stat, but I saw it on Twitter and then I double checked it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So it wasn't my stat, but I saw it. I was like, I've got to make a note of that because that is a mind blowing stat that they have led by 20 or more points for 15 minutes longer this season than they've trailed in the entire season. And I mean, you would expect that it was, somewhat close given that they're 24-1, but still, that is pretty jaw-dropping in the grand scheme of things. You mentioned Mark being coach of the year. I know that this Thunder team gets a lot of credit for how talented they are. You have the MVP of the league. You have these two young superstars in J-Dub and Chet that really probably haven't even entered the prime of their career. They're still, I think, growing their games individually. And Sam Presti gets a lot of credit for, I think, just the talent evaluation and his ability to stockpile the draft picks and capitalize on those draft picks and build this team. But I mean, to your point, Mark has done such a good job of, I mean, having all these talented players on the bench and mixing and matching the right guys. And, you've been in this role and you've seen players around the league either engage in not being ready when your number's called or check out when maybe you're having to wait for your turn. That there's not really any of that going on. And I think you made a great point. I mean, Mark has to be the coach of the year with how he's been able to just manage such a deep roster and keep everybody engaged to the level that they've been able to do it.
Yeah, Mark's great. Mark is great. I want to shout out to the scouts too, man. Man, Nick Collison over there, of course. And all the guys. They're doing a great job, man. And still they have a lot of picks. I don't think that, it's rightfully so. They're not one of the teams that's like in the Wemby, the Giannis sweepstakes, trying to look to get another piece or something like that. And they stay away from a lot of that news and a lot of that, nonsense. So if they continue to stay healthy, man, I pray they stay healthy. Because chemistry wise, that's not going anywhere. They obviously know each other well enough. So hopefully they can keep it going, man. And like I said, the cup, man, it's like the NCAA season. Like it's been going on forever, right? Like I don't remember it being this long. In like 2 months, it feel like or something like that. But
Yeah,
I'm watching it, but it's still like, you know.
yeah. I like until this point where you're actually playing on like a neutral site, and it's like the elimination games. I don't pay too much attention to the round robin part of it where you just play the teams in your group or
Yeah,
whatever. But like at this point where it's like, okay, you eliminate somebody or you advance and move on, that part of it at least adds a little more intrigue. And you're playing on the neutral site, but yeah, I think we'll see what happens. I do like the fact that they're playing San Antonio this Saturday, and then they will play them, I think, twice within a week span, the week of Christmas. So we'll have three San Antonio matchups in the next like 2.5 weeks.
and Antonio's looking good, man. I know Wemby's hurt, but they're like 8-2 without him right now.
Yeah, playing good
So I
basketball.
mean, I like watching them, Dylan Harper and all those Castle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You mentioned Giannis, and I was going to hit this the other day, but we kind of ran out of time. The Thunder are not going to trade for Giannis. I'm not at all suggesting that that's going to happen or that should happen, but I think to go back to kind of a conversation we've had multiple times about this team and the chemistry aspect of it, like I think Giannis is easily one of the top, 2, 3, 4 players in the NBA without question, and any team would be lucky to have Giannis and his services. But I was asked this a few weeks ago, and I don't even think it was about Giannis. It was about somebody else in the NBA, but I wanted to equate this to Giannis. Like, if you're the Thunder and you have all these draft picks, and you didn't have to give up any of your current rostered players, would you make a trade for another NBA superstar? And, like, naturally you think, yeah, like, who wouldn't want Giannis? My answer, though, with this team, and it's not going to be the same with every team, but for this team specifically, because the chemistry aspect is such a gigantic part of their success, my answer to that's no. I don't think you would want to add another superstar personality to this locker room and even risk. And I'm not saying it would happen because he might buy in completely, but I don't think you would even want to risk disrupting the unique chemistry that this group currently has.
That's tough, man, because they do have a lot of picks, like hundreds of picks, it
Yeah.
seems like. But if you give up those picks if you don't have to give up talent, that's something to think about. My only thing is in the front court, what do you do with Zay? Because you got to play Chet because you need shooting, scoring, and he's somewhat of a rim protector. Defensively, though, that'd be interesting, but they not gonna let that happen. With just picks. Like they're gonna want Jalen, they're gonna
Right,
want
right.
maybe two people off the bench that's being effective, playing effective right now. They're gonna want picks. And it could mess up. That would mess up the chemistry. If that's the case, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. Because I mean, even though Giannis is still, like we said, like a top 5, top 7 guy in the league right now, he's older and we're seeing them a little more injury prone. And I wouldn't give up my future for that right now. I wouldn't give my future up for that. Unless it now, if it was just picks, which it probably wouldn't be, I would think about that.
Yeah. Well, in this scenario, hypothetically, it would just be for picks. My answer is still no, because like no matter how good he is, you just
Yeah.
don't know how well that's going to mesh in the locker room and potentially be a wrench thrown into the gears of how seamless this thing is going. Like you might add a player that's more talented than your current roster, but does he actually fit in the current roster the same way that your current guys do? And to me, I'm not even risking that potentially going in the wrong direction because it's right now at such a good spot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think if it's not broken at all, so ain't nothing to fix. So um there's plenty of teams in that Giannis sweepstakes, but I'm glad OKC isn't one of them. I
Yeah.
mean, even if they were, they wouldn't put moves out. It'll just happen. Unlike a lot of other teams that are trying to get him, or they putting themselves in a position to trade for him. But I'm interested to see where he goes, man. They talking about San Antonio. I'm not sure where. I mean, they're gonna want. I don't know if I'm giving up my future there either because they look like OKC like
Yeah.
5 years ago. You know, they got everything they need around them, and then I don't want to give up Castle. I don't want to give up. I'm definitely not giving up Dylan Harper. So they're gonna ask for everything. They're gonna ask for the house. So I will leave it where it's at, man. Maybe Houston for him. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, all you have to do is look at what the Suns did to get Kevin Durant and how that completely killed the team because they went to the NBA Finals,
Man,
brought in Durant, traded all the role players, and then they had just no depth and no supporting cast around KD and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. And I think that's probably going to be the same situation with Giannis. He's going to demand such a return that wherever he goes, I mean, barring somebody having the draft capital to really unload and maybe not have to give up too many players, you're going to just deplete yourself. So yeah, it'll be interesting to
right.
see what the match ultimately becomes and if that team is truly a contender because of what they have to give up.
Yeah. You see, it was a disaster. It's three superstar team. The league doesn't like that. And I'm thinking now the fans don't like it either. Because it's just like it's not worth it. You don't have a future, and then you under these guys are under these contracts where you like 30, 40 million over the luxury tax, so you
Yeah.
can't do anything. They get hurt, can't trade them. So you stuck for 3 years with these guys until somebody gets bought out or a team takes on that kind of contract. And like I said, it's not good for the league, man. It ain't good for the fans either. The fans don't really like it no more. You don't even talk about super teams anymore,
Right.
you know? So it's more about development. That's what I feel like Adam Silver in the league wants more of. Draft, develop, go through some free agency, but it's for pieces, not trying to build this team like it's 2K and on level easy or something.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, let's wrap up with this. Did you see Grayson Allen's ejection last night?
Yeah, I saw Shay's reaction to it. It was funny.
That was probably the best part of it,
Man, what's
honestly.
up, man? Come on. Who did he hit like that? Chet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did he hit Chet? Yeah, he checked Chet. Chet should have got up and slapped him, man.
Well,
Just
there
gonna
was,
set the tone. I know that's
yeah,
part of the coach.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's one
Yeah,
of those guys that has that type of reputation. So like, when it happened, everybody was like, "Of course, Grayson Allen's the kind of guy that's going to be doing that." Was there who was the Grayson Allen or Grayson Allen like players when you played? Where if that happened, you're just like, "Oh, of course, it's that guy."
uh, my guy, I love him, but Draymond was definitely one of those guys. It was a few. Draymond, yeah, it's some more guys. I can't think of them right off the top of my head. Because some guys just played hard. It wasn't like they were being
Right.
dirty.
Right.
You know, it wasn't a lot of that to me.
But
You
like
know,
Grayson Allen had the
Draymond had to do
tripping
some crazy.
thing at Duke, and so that's always kind of been his reputation as like being somewhat dirty, like a dirty player.
Chris, a little bit. Paul got a little bit of. He play hard, but he'll do some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Um, I, I played in the league with Grayson, but I seen him. I saw what he was on at Duke. I was like, because he was doing some crazy stuff to people at Duke, man. I was like, damn. Now I understand you're competing, but some of that stuff is like they can't help themselves. You know, they have to do that. But
Chris
what they
Paul had
find him?
the Chris
Like
Paul had the
35?
like nut shot when he was at Wake, didn't he? Against somebody? Didn't he punch somebody?
Yeah. Dude, hot, man. Yeah, he like did something. Yeah, yeah. That was like the start of it because he never looked back after that.
He was just so good that it kind of
He would go out of
overshadowed
his
some
way.
of it. Where Grayson Allen probably, hasn't been able to establish any sort of recognition for his name beyond being known for that.
Yeah, and then Stephen A. Smith was like, when he gets to the league, somebody gonna knock him out. And I'm like, no, he not, man. Nobody wants to get fined $50,000 or something. You know, they're not really mad at each other, bro. You pissed off in the moment. That's it.
What percentage of NBA players do you
Damn.
think like are actually willing to throw a punch in a situation like that?
Mm. It's maybe 5%. Uh, like Isaiah Stewart, he'll have a real fight on the court with you. He's serious about that. Maybe Draymond, if he loses cool like to that point. It may not even be 5%, bro. I can't see, especially the way the little skirmishes have been this season. It's been like little league basketball.
You got to
You
wait for
know what I'm
your like
saying?
holdback guy to
So
get
it's
there, and then
not
you're like,
like,
hold me back, hold me back.
yeah, yeah, that's it. They wait on that, then they just talking. Like that's all it's gonna be. That's all it's gonna be. But those two guys, I think, will really do something.
I always thought Steven Adams was
Oh,
probably the nicest guy in the world, but if it came to like defending one of his teammates, I think he would absolutely throw a punch.
man, that's one of my favorite teammates ever, man. I love Steven to this day, man. Like he's like a giant teddy bear, but he never let nobody punk him. Like he always stood up to whatever challenge, whoever he had to play. And they respected him because it wasn't like he was dirty. He just played hard and he one of the strongest human beings I've ever seen in my life. You know, so he's definitely one of the enforcers on the team, but he like a silent enforcer. And that you gotta respect that, man.
Yeah,
You gotta respect it.
no doubt. All right, my man, good to catch up. Thunder 24-1, 16 straight wins as they continue to massacre everybody in their path. San Antonio in Las Vegas on Saturday. If they win, NBA Cup championship on Tuesday. So all of that will have taken place by the time we talk next week. Good to see you. Good to catch up with you. And have a great weekend, my friend.
You too, bro. See you next week.